So guys, we're in a bunker, common bunker shot, greenside bunker, and there's a million varieties of bunker shots, and many of them you don't want to get yourself in the predicament. But if you're in a basic bunker shot like this, I've got to carry a ball about 15 feet to a pin that's probably 22 feet away from me. And kind of like the flop shot, when you put your swing trainer short band and you get this at a little bit of a radius, when you extend your wrist, I'm going to turn the club a little bit so that the connector is a little bit more below where it would commonly be if I was doing my training on the grass. Then I'm going to grip it in that situation. When I grip in that situation, I can feel the resistance trying to take me back to square. Well, that's the work that I want to put in to not let that happen. I want to feel like I can go back, keep loft on that face as though I'm looking at that face right now. And if it was a mirror, I could see my own reflection in it. And I could move through this ball with that same little bit of bend back and hit these shots with that same extended bent back left wrist. So a couple things about setup. Bunker shots, wide setup, weight's going to be artificially forward in the strong lead leg. So I feel like I'm probably 90-10 in my left leg, keeping that left wrist extended. Now the key thing here is landing behind the golf ball. You can see with my toolbox I've got the ball forward at the red stick that represents my left heel, and I've got the white stick which is a little bit closer to the middle of my stance, albeit a little bit more forward. Now I've got to land somewhere in this area closer to the white stick than the red stick, and I've got to displace some sand, throwing some sand on the land so that when I get some sand on this club, it can throw sand to that green, including the golf ball. So the feels in this, I've got my radius, waggle waggle, I've got my idea where I want this to land. Let's keep that wrist bent back, hit a little shot. There's a nice little bunker shot that's going up to a couple feet. I can tap that in. Now, looking at this like sandy divot a little closer, I touched kind of back where the white stick was. The ball was near the red stick, and then the area displacement kind of includes that entire area. So displacement is a huge thing. Like I always tell bunker people that struggle in here, I say, you know what? Physics over feelings. You'll hear me say that a lot. If you learn how to displace sand correctly, you have general idea where the ball is going to go. Now, whether you have to swing a little harder for a shot that's farther, or maybe go from, say, a lob wedge, which I used in this demonstration, to perhaps a sand wedge or even a gap wedge. If you have to hit it 30 or 40 yards, sometimes you have a longer bunker shot. I just add a little bit more, I strengthen the loft by going to a gap wedge or a sand wedge. But in this condition, we can do a couple other little things that are helpful visuals for you, is to take a ball and tee it up. So I'm going to tee that ball up in front of the red stick to where the crown of the tee is even with the sand. And I'm going to move this toolbox back a little bit. That represents kind of a parallel to my flag, I guess. Then I've got that dimension between the white stick and the red stick, and I want to kind of land somewhere between, closer to the white than the red. But I also have this profile where the tee is now pushed into the sand. So I've got my sand and I've got my tee, and I want my club to breach that sand and clip that tee, so I've got that little cushion of sand that rides up the face. That sand rides up the face with a good amount of speed in which I can catch some of that sand. So if we understand how the speed rips up the face really quickly, I'll do that again, I can catch some of that sand, and the same thing happens down here. Now, when you're training with your swing trainer, really what you're training is the ability to control your extended or bent back left wrist with the intent of saying, okay, I'm going to let that face that's deflected clip this tee, have a decent breach point. Let's see how I do this one. I'd like to do as well as the previous one. A little bit of a breach point, clip the tee, and that was pretty good. It just skipped in front of the hole, and it's about 5 or 6 feet. Now that's a broken tee right there, and it's right in the middle of my displacement area. So these are a couple things for you to understand. Like, the confusion this presents to you is there to help you. It's a workout for you to learn how to transport a club properly. This is an open face situation. We don't want that with your driver, but we certainly want to transport that extended cuppy wrist so this wedge behaves nicely, displaces sand, and hits great bunker shots. So these little setup nuggets, along with this exercise of learning how to transport a cuppy lead wrist with some swing feels and some rotation, and you'll notice those two shots, I didn't keep my head down and stare down here. I let the club expand. There was an explosion of sand. When I was done, I was kind of facing and enjoying 2 really good shots. So that's going to help you a ton in the bunkers with your swing trainer.